Yeah, I don't know. I feel like mine's gonna be like Drago Picante.
Hello
And I'll be like,
and welcome. My name's Jay Yee, and with me today is my good old friend, Alexander Gonzalez.
hello.
And please remember that we are not game devs. How are you doing today, Alex?
I'm pretty grateful because we are in the grace of Pokemon news, and we know that there's a Pokemon game coming later this fall. So I just have to survive the summer.
Yeah.
I'll be playing a new Pokemon game. I've been saying that a lot. Hopefully they keep doing this fall spring stuff, and I'll just keep going about doing my thing.
I am excited about this one. I think it looks good, besides the Neopet grass starter. And also, I think the gameplay and what the game is going to be good. I don't think the game looks good. I think the game looks horrendous. I think it looks
better
so
than
bad.
Arceus.
Yeah, that's true. But like, I was like watching the trailer and I was like, I can't believe they're showing this. This looks terrible.
You say that, but I don't think it looks that bad.
Oh.
I honestly, though, I want an OLED Switch, but I don't know if
Yeah.
I can just transfer. If you have, this is a side, and we're getting too long in this, but if you have your games all saved to a micro SD card, can you just transfer it? Like take the SD card out and put it in the new one, and then it just works?
No, you still have to do like transferring your license of the Switch and doing. It's gonna be a long process no matter what. You have Nintendo Online, though. Yeah, you do. You have to. Yeah, so it's gonna be easier than most people, but it's still gonna be really difficult. It's gonna take at least 3 hours. But wait, man, the next Switch is around the corner. I could feel it.
But is it even gonna? Yeah, we'll see if it's backwards compat.
But that is not the Nintendo news we were talking about today. Today, we are creating something new. Every week, we are not game devs. We create a new, exciting video game idea that we have always wanted to play, but do not have any knowledge or know-how to create the wonderful experience that are video games. Today is my turn to present We Are Not Game Devs' 195th IP. Now, this isn't the most original idea, but I think we could do it kind of cool. Where imagine it being a Tatooine planet, right? It's just a desert. And for some reason, this desert planet has shit from space falling onto it periodically, like debris from space or asteroids or whatever, just hitting and pelting. And there's like an area that is there. Because of that situation, there's a lot of scrappers and junkers and people who go out.
What if there was a war that was fought like someplace far off from that planet, and because that war was fought for so long, there's continuous debris of fallen ships and mechs that fall from space into the atmosphere in there.
Like, we're talking about some great war that like turned this planet into desert, and
the other planet that was next to it when they were both luscious died. It just got blown up.
Or maybe something crazy happened and it became this planet's sun or something. And now the sun's super close. It's not a sun, but it's like a planet that's like molting, and it like creates, it's like a hot moon, and it creates the desert on this planet. It doesn't make sense scientifically, but it does in this gaming world. Anyway, this war that destroyed these two planets, now scraps falling down and hitting the planet. And so this desert planet, it lots of scrappers or whatever, and they sell to other off-worldy people, and they come here because they know they could find like pre-war scrap and pre-war tech that doesn't exist now because this war like destroyed a lot of civilizations or whatever. You are a said scrapper, and the gameplay is twofold. I guess it's like that one game that I want to play, but I just don't want to spend the money for it. Moonlighter or whatever, is that what it's called? And then you go dungeon delving, and then you manage a shop.
I gotta play that game.
I gotta play it, dude. It's on PS Now.
That's like the perfect airplane game.
It is.
It's on
PS Now. I might get it PS Now, especially with Spartan coming up, and maybe I'll get a deal on Spartan if I sign up for
fucking
PS Now
Spartacus.
first. Spartacus.
We can't. This isn't the show for that, but I forgot we didn't even fucking talk about
We
that.
didn't.
I'm not excited.
I'm excited.
Even though I'm probably gonna get it.
To be able to play games that I don't want to pay for, like Moonlighter, and just have it, just access for a monthly fee. I'll definitely, because I want to try out indie games all the time, and if they're for me, then I'll stick with it. If I don't, then I don't. And
samesies, or 4 or 5 hour experiences.
Yeah. And sometimes they're like $30-$40, and I'm like, it's a little steep for something I don't know if I'm gonna like.
Yeah, same. I mean, we'll get back to it, but the Dark Pictures anthology.
Oh, dude, I want to play them so much.
That's the kind of stuff that I would just jump in.
We gotta play them for content. Like, we gotta record ourselves and do it. Like, I think it'll make for fun times. But getting back to the game, I don't know. What do you think?
So, what's the main gameplay here? You're getting straps?
Yeah,
because I think what would be cool is you could do it like that, but instead of it being like, instead of it being like a SteamWorld dig or similar to something of that nature, I can imagine a game where it's like 2D Metal Slug graphics where you're collecting scrap and then talking to people and like kind of moving in and off screen almost the same way that you did in that other game where you're basically like a bug, but it looks like a skull and everyone's bugs.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Bug game. Silk Song came out of that game.
Nothing.
Anyway, so I'm thinking about like 2D graphics.
Games.
Huh?
You know me in 2D games, they don't really work.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about like a scrapper, and then you can collect parts to sell, but you can also collect parts to upgrade. And then you can have like little mechs. And I'm not talking about fighting mechs per se. I'm talking about more like vehicle mechs where that'll allow you to go to different parts of the world. So like a lava vehicle mech, which can serve as like a flying level, but technically it'd be a underwater level, but you can go up, down, side to side. And you can start collecting different parts while also battling monsters that inhabit these zones. And then selling and making contacts while also maybe helping other merchants in this world while maybe battling rivals.
Okay, I like all of that, but take the 2D, make it isometric.
Or what about open world? We could just do open world.
Do open world, but that I want this to feel more like an indie game, not so much like a AAA. You're out there like the Nier Automata going out and like going through all the fucking robots, or like Horizon Zero Dawn and like just like killing a robot dinosaur and like scrapping it for all that you want from it. Like, I don't want that feel from it. I want it like more smaller, but I say make it isometric and kind of more like Hades, where like you go out there, you fight all these baddies, either like other scrappers that are more violent trying to like take other scrappers like stuff, or you're fighting like rats and other like shit that just like also live in the wilds. But you could also just fight like other, maybe where you add like a mythical thing to it. But as you're fighting all this stuff, they'll either drop scrap, or there'll be like not chests, but like a car or like a piece of a ship or like a escape pod, and that's like your chests.
Right.
And then you like open them up and you'll get pieces of scrap to sell back to your store. And at your store you get money, and then you use that money to buy like upgrades for your character or like different weapons, and that will change your playstyle when you go back in and do this more like roguelike Hades type thing.
Yeah, I like all that. And I want it to be, if Horizon Zero Dawn has it, so that like you're putting on armor of cyber dinosaurs, so it looks almost like futuristic chic. I want this to look like steampunk cyber, where it's like it's old space stuff from a war, but it's still usable, that you're going to want to put on for yourself.
What if you as a merchant can do that? You could take the items back and craft different things to sell. Like you could craft armor, you could craft weapons, you could craft random like knickknacks to sell that use the stuff you find, and maybe like some stuff that sell really
like different
high.
items.
Yeah, like maybe a thing that sells really high. If you found a bunch of like light bulbs, and then the something you could like make a lamp, but like a really nice, like a chandelier, and then like a rich person will come in like, I'll give you this much for that chandelier, and it's like a lot of money. But then you also get a lot of money for creating a really sharp sword or something, or you could use the sword or the armor, and you could either use it or sell it. It's up to you, type of thing.
And then I think this game could have a simple story where it doesn't have to be too high stakes, where maybe the first act is you collecting stuff and trying to get stronger so you can get to some of the areas you've never been to before, because you heard that there's like a photon shifter that you need for this spaceship that you've been trying to build, and the spaceship can take you to the far you have enough gas for the spaceship to take you to the far edge of the world where nobody ever gets scraps, and you heard that there's perfect scrap there. So it's like the first act is you getting this photon thing where you kind of explore, maybe you battle a boss, and then your second act would be you on the far side of the world collecting harder, like with harder enemies and more worthwhile scraps and stuff.
Yeah. Maybe the whole game you're essentially trying to find, and maybe it's like an RNG thing, or like if you get to a certain level, not level, but like if you get deep enough to these areas, you could find like a specific part that you've been looking for, and we could either lock it behind a boss or make it RNG. But I don't know what the bosses would be. Maybe like in each region there's like a criminal underground, like
it doesn't even have to be a boss necessarily. So I was thinking that the first one would be a beast that like local legend says that this beast is what protects it. And the second one would be what you're thinking, where on the far side of the planet, you find out nobody ever gets back there or comes back because there's a bandit base that was established, and they kill everybody and take their ships.
Right.
And then once you get strong enough from killing some of the local places outside, like maybe your ship gets shot down, but you survive, you have to collect everything, sell to people who also got stranded, and then kill the bandit base to go on to the third act, where you find out that the aliens who did die have actually been in space trying to repair, and now they're coming down on you guys now.
Or they were stranded on this planet and they're trying to get back into space. And let's say the ending of the game is you decide to go to space with them, type of thing. And then the next game is your intergalactic scrapper / merchant.
I think this is the first time that I've ever been able to generate a story that makes sense for the game that we're playing. Most of the time, like, and they save it and it works out and the guy's evil.
There had to have been another time in almost 200 episodes we made a story that was somewhat okay.
No, I'm not saying that we didn't, but it's been the first time in a long time.
That is true. Cool. I like it. So we have a rough story. We have what you're doing. Let's discuss, I guess, the music. Like, I feel like it's pretty simple. Like, it works. You know, you go out, you do the scraps, and do the getting further and further into each area, getting more, and then going back, selling it, crafting stuff.
And you'll get a bunch of cool items eventually, from a jetpack to a grappling hook to stuff of that nature to help you traverse the world as well. I think the music should be, honestly, like an electric guitar, and just an electric guitar going. Because it's almost, I think it could fit for it, where depending on how the music's going, you can just have it strumming slowly, or if things like amp up, you can hear it like wah, 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 like as it starts playing. I think it would work for this like mechanical world that's a little gritty but also spacey.
It's definitely not the direction I was going to go, because I was going to be like Cyberpunk 2077 soundtrack 100%. But I like where you're going. Let's just make it something really artsy and weird like that. Let's do it. Sounds like a continuous guitar solo the entire time. Obviously, it's not one guitar solo the whole time, but like that's what it's going to be, with like pedals, so different effects. It doesn't have to be distorted or delayed all the time. It could be like
everything that this game can offer, including like if you're in space, there's some really scary sounds that you can make if you hold like the guitar on your lap and kind of like string along with it.
Yeah, definitely. The Last of Us, except with an electric guitar and effects, essentially. Pricing,
I think this game, you could argue if you put your heart and soul into it, $50, $40.
I
Depending.
see what you mean, but I think.
Do you think it could go full pop?
No, I think it's like 24 is what it is. And then like if it does really well, the next one comes out, then it's like $30. And then we go AAA after that. We make it open world after that.
Yeah.
All right. Time to start your timer, Alex. It's time to name this game.
I just dropped everything.
I was like, don't destroy everything trying to start the timer.
Even though, and the funny thing is Jay can see, but I didn't even pull out my phone. I'm using the timer on my watch, so I don't know why everything fell out anyway. It begins.
Junkyard.
No.
Scrapyard.
It's a planet.
Well, we also if there's gonna be sequels to this and he goes into space and becomes an intergalactic scrapper, we have to think about it past the desert planet.
Yeah.
But the sequel writes itself. Instead of just going to different regions of your planet, you go to different planets and they all have different terrains and shit.
Relic War. Blood Relic.
I like Relic. Can we say something around that he's like a merchant or like a shopkeeper?
Okay, so I can't think of anything with merchant tied in that sounds cool. How about this? Space Thrift. You're just going thrifting. You're selling thrift shit. Space Thrift. It's a cool name.
How about Space Rift?
But then it doesn't make sense anymore.
All right, Space
There's
Thrift.
no riffs.
Space Thrift it is. Well, there is a riff. The entire guitar soundtrack.
Oh, Space Riff?
Yeah.
So we could do that and just, I guess, put the music first.
No, I like Space Thrift. That's a good one.
Space Thrift in 2 minutes, 27 seconds, which is a game in which you're playing an isometric character in space, collecting scraps, upgrading your armor, weapons, and mechanical capabilities to gather more scraps so that you can go to the far side of the planet and eventually get off this stupid world. What you find along the way is a mystery surrounding an abandoned race and a long war fought before your generation and Space Thrift.
All right, so I think we have a game here. Alex, what do you think? Would this be a game you'd want to play? And is it fun?
Would I want to play it? Yes. Would I play it? Probably no. Unless it became free or close to it, or somehow the drum got beat really hard about this game and I heard about it through other people. But I don't know if this would be a game that I'd be dying to go out and play. I think I'd be like, man, I think this one's coming to PS Plus eventually.
That's the thing. Just like Moonlighter and just like even games like Spiritfarer, which I've heard nothing but good things and it sounds like a game I would love.
Don't you feel like you have to go out of your way to get them? Which is weird because they're on the same marketplace as everything else.
For me, it's not I need to go out of my way. It's just I don't know if I'm going to love it. And I also really don't have that much time to go out.
We don't have that much time and we play nothing but 9s and 10s too. So like this is gonna. I'll just speak for myself. But when I've noticed that I've only played 9s and 10s for a while, where I've gone from Red Dead to what was that game I played, Jay? The one about the death loop. And then I go from Red Dead to Deathloop to Pokemon Arceus to Elden Ring. That, like, when I play a 7, which is just good, I'm like, wow, this is difficult to play. So it'd have to just be in there. So I get your hesitation.
And for me, if I give a smaller game a chance, it's normally because I'm interested in it. Like Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1, when I have time and extra money, I'm getting that immediately. I think that Sherlock Holmes game looks great. And the previous game before that, The Devil's Daughter, was awesome. Like, it was a really good game. So I have high hopes for the most recent game that just came out. Or like it has to do with pirates, or it has to do with like French aristocratic times from like the 1800 eras. Like, gives me that type of vibe. But yeah, other than that, I normally wouldn't like be like, here's $25 so I could try your game and see if I like it. That's why I am excited for Spartacus. And when I do eventually get an Xbox, games with Games Pass is going to be essential to playing games like this.
They're gonna so many games
For so cheap. All right. Now that we have a complete game, what game studio would you assign to make Space Thrift the best? I guess I'll start with Supergiant as we're thinking.
I know of why I want to do this, but I think it would be just a cheat code. So imagine that this like was an offshoot in the same universe as Ratchet and Clank, but like a smaller studio at Insomniac did this, like some ragtag underdog group, and they create this game. I think then all of a sudden everyone would want to buy it because it has that kind of cred.
The IP attached. That'd be cool. I would give it to shoot, I just had it. It's gone now. I don't remember who I was going to say, but they were a good one.
Here, how about the people who did Cana and the Bridge of Spirits?
Sure.
Which I didn't play.
I didn't play it either. I want to. It's on my list.
Me too.
Yeah.
I've actually, because of this, because of our conversation, my brain's been shouting out the games I haven't played, like Psychonauts.
Oh, I want to play that game so bad. The first one was so good.
Yeah.
And apparently the second one's great. There's so many games I want to play, but I just don't know when and how I'm going to get to them. Like Cana, I really want to play. I really want to play Psychonauts 2. What's stopping me from playing Psychonauts 2, really? I know what the reason is. I haven't played Rompus Haru, and I have it. I played the opening. It made me so sick, I turned it off, and I am too scared to play it ever again. Because it's a VR
Ember
game.
Lab who did Cana.
I mean, that's fine. That's a good selection. I'm happy with that. Oh, I remember. Double Fine.
Oh, yeah.
Double Fine would be cool. And with that, our 195th IP has gone gold. We hope you look forward to this experience that will probably never release. You can write to @poundgames@gmail.com if you have anything passionate to the game we created today. Also, give us feedback. We're still learning how to make this show better, and your feedback really helps. By the way, I'm going to do a script rewrite. After episode 200, all this is going to change. Much more condensed. We don't have to do this whole long thing anymore.
Sounds good to me.
We have a Patreon. If you'd like to back our ideas, please head over to patreon.com/we're-not-game-devs. Patrons receive episodes 2 days early and an extra podcast at the beginning, which caught the tail end of our show. Of a conversation at the beginning of this episode. That's patreon.com/we're-not-game-devs. If you liked our show, why not subscribe and give us all the stars on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Store, Spotify, YouTube, and more. And if you ask for a review, instead of reviewing our show, become your inner game critic and review Space Thrift, the video game we just created. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be back next Friday with another new IP. Again, my name's J.E.
And I'm AG. My desk is falling apart.
Thank you. And please remember that we are not game devs. Is that what's happening? Your desk fell apart, so stuff are just falling down now?
Yeah, like I think there was like a Jenga tower of supplies and it all started falling. So I just put my hand in the air to block my face. One time I put books on the topmost shelf of my closet and they all started falling one after the other. And I had a Scholastic dictionary that fell. I'm pretty sure that broke my nose.
You're pretty sure you didn't get to go check it out?
No, my mom really didn't believe in the doctor all too much.
Oh, this was when you were younger. I thought this was like 5 months ago or like 2 weeks ago.
No.
Oh, gotcha.
No, I would have gone.